Hey, welcome to Taste This TV. I'm Chef Joe Ciminera. We have a great show for you here today. You know, we're talking about a different dessert. Now, maybe a classic dessert with a different twist. And everyone's heard of it. It's called Baklava. Some ladies and well-known chefs may sit down and brag about how good their baklava is and how different they make it. Now, you may say, what is an Italian-American like Chef Joe talking about baklava? Does he have a different recipe? I do. I have a little bit of a different twist because I think that the secret to baklava is the honey. So today, we're going to be using a honey called Magnolia House Honey. And they got some pretty good honey. They infuse it, like this one right here. This is their cinnamon honey. So as you know, or you'll soon know, that baklava has cinnamon in it. The cinnamon is already infused in the honey, which gives it a really good flavor. That's why I like to use this product. So I'm going to be using a combination of their raw cream cinnamon honey and also their pure blossom honey to make this baklava treat that you are going to love. Now, aside from baklava, I tend to love sweets, so I generally put, 2 or 3 desserts out on my table after I'm done eating because my life is centered around food, so we have a lot of it. So with that being said, if you don't have the time to make a baklava, you can go out and get this roll break from Lago, this incredible strawberry flavored, and you'll see their packaging from here all the way to probably 7 different countries overseas. I notice when I'm traveling to Europe and stuff like that, I'll see that product. It's always a fun treat to open up. Now, getting back to this baklava, there are a lot of baklava dishes that require only walnuts or almonds. I like to use a few different nuts in my baklava. I like to use almonds, walnuts, and cashews, but the difference is I like to use raw. I don't use roasted. I feel that takes away from the flavor a little bit, and I'm not looking for that roasted flavor. You'll get it in the oven when you put it in the baklava, and remember, you need a lot of butter, right? Now, this butter right here we are using is an incredible butter. It's World Champion. It's unsalted. Notice I have unsalted butter here. Adjust your seasonings as you go. Anything I do, whether it's sauteing vegetables or making beurre blanc sauce, I'll always use an unsalted butter because I want to control the flavor of the salt that I put in. Okay, so why don't we go back and start with the walnuts. We got some different spices we're going to mix up, and it's just all about layering like a lasagna. A lot of butter, a lot of filo dough and stuff like that, and you're going to have a rich, crispy texture. You don't put this honey slashed sugar water, I call it, over the top, or a simple syrup until the very end. So let's get started. So the thing about, baklava is layering, and that's really what it's about. It's about layering a sheet of filo dough, putting another filo dough on top of it, make sure that it's buttered. Don't worry about if the filo dough breaks a little bit because you just put the other sheet on top so that, you don't have to worry about it. And there should be at least 6 or 7 layers on top before you go with a layer of nuts as well. So we have some walnuts, some cinnamon, some nutmeg. We have some allspice. I use a little bit of that. We also have a little bit of lemon zest and orange zest, which is also, I think, really good for, gives it almost like an aromatic cold bouillon, like a really good smell to it. And then we have some sugar, and what we're going to do is put this all in a bowl like this, and we're going to mix it up. I also add a little bit of vanilla extract as well, because I find that the vanilla extract really complements the cinnamon, complements the nutty flavor of this whole dish, and is really going to take it to the next level. Okay, so now we're going to continue to mix this up. You want to make sure that the nuts get all the flavor of both the sugar, the lemon zest, the orange zest, the cinnamon, the nutmeg. Be careful with that allspice. It has a tendency to get real strong, so you don't want anything to overpower the dish. We're going to make that simple syrup a little bit later, which is really simple. Just a little bit of liquid, some sugar as well, and then we're going to add the honey in there. I can't wait to use that honey. Alright, so this is what it looks like. You got to let it thaw out a little bit. Filo dough is real simple, but it gets hard really fast and makes it very difficult to work with. So You know, you don't want to take a lunch break and leave this filo dough on the counter table either, because then it'll end up getting hard. You won't be able to move it around, and then it's just a complete mess, right? So we've opened up our filo dough, and you know, rather than take like one at a time, you could rush this a little bit. Make sure that you go down and dirty. I'm using a non-stick, or it's sort of like a non-stick. It's an Emily Henry. Nothing sticks to this. Really good quality product. Heavy duty ceramic. All right, so now we got our first couple layers of puff pastry. We're going to put them down on the bottom, like I said. Now, if you're using a pan like this, it just fits it perfect, and that's what you want to do. You want to try to find a pan in your house that, you know, you don't have to go cutting this this filo dough, because it's going to be a complete nightmare if you have to start doing that. You never use a knife, right? You use a scissor. So if you have to get to any ends and relatively, you know, squeeze around those turns, the best way to do it is with a scissor. Now we got the filo dough, and what you basically want to do is just make sure that you butter. And I mean, don't leave out anything. You want to butter the whole sheet. And without boring my audience at home, because we tend to be putting these shows a lot on YouTube and we like it short and sweet, we're going to take another, and you can see already, you take this filo dough, and if you listen to it, it's already drying out. That's how fast this dries out. You really got to move. You put another layer of the filo dough on top. I keep calling this puff pastry. Again, a lot of butter. And this takes patience. If you don't have patience, like I don't, it's going to be an issue. All right, make sure you completely soak the puff pastry 110% in butter. You're going to take some of these gorgeous almonds, walnuts, cashews. I haven't met too many people that have a mix of variety of nuts. The lemon zest, the orange zest in here, and the vanilla. And you're going on top of that. And it's real simple. Like I said, this is just constant layers, constant layers. All right, here it is again. I got access to some really good chefs that cook Greek food in New York City, so I'm not in a rush to make this all the time. This is sort of like playtime for me, but you know, it does take a little bit of time to do. And you know, as you know from watching this show, that desserts are never really my strong point. You ever see them make this from scratch? You ever YouTube it? I mean, talk about patience, man. God, make sure you're pushing down on there. I need to heat up some more butter. Make sure you butter when you put it in the microwave also. Now on that last layer, what I like to do is throw a little bit of sugar, white sugar, just on the last layer. We've got our final sheet of filo dough. Almost seemed like this took 1 hour to do. Now with a knife, we want to cut this. Okay, so now we're going to take this baklava. We're probably going to cook it for about 45 minutes. You're going to see it get really nice and brown and everything else on 375 to 400 degrees, really depending on your oven, because we know like no two snowflakes are the same, no two ovens cook at the same temperature. So we're going to put that in, we'll bring it out and be back in a minute. All right, so look here. This stuff is to die for. I'm telling you, if you're making baklava, you definitely want to pick this up, because it's so perfect, because it has the cinnamon in it already. Talk about really good honey. Now add cinnamon in that and you got heaven, my friends. So I've just did the simple syrup that you're going to see down here. The baklava is almost ready. We're going to put it right over the top and we are going to eat. Well, technically you really should put it in the refrigerator for a little while, but we may slip with a little spoonful just to taste. Alright, so now our baklava is finished. It's ready to come out of the oven, and what we're going to do is take our syrup / honey mixture. Alright, so we just ripped a delicious piece off of this baklava that's waiting to be consumed right now. You can see that the filo dough is super crispy. That's because of the butter and because of the temperature, and we allowed it to cook and all that stuff. Let's go down the hatch. Wow. This wouldn't be bad hot with a little vanilla ice cream, I'll tell you that for sure. Thank you for watching this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. I'm your host, Chef Joe Ciminera. Remember, there are no rules in cooking. Check out our honey friends over here, our other dessert friends over there, and have a little fun, have a party, eat good. God bless, stay well. Taste this.